ፒሲዲፒ የድሮ የ15 ዓመቱ ሙቀቱ እንዳለ ሆኖ በዚህኛው በአዲሱም ላይ በሚገባ እንደሚያስረዳንና እንደሚያስደስተን ተስፋ አደርጋለሁ። ዶክተር ቀና
Thank you.
ፕሊዝ።
Thank you very much, and I'm going to present a short brief on the Lowland Livelihood Resilience Project, LLRP, and the next slide. Just the presentation follows the heading questions, so I am going to present as per the templates. So the first program is the name of the program, as you see. The name of the program is Livelihood. And step. The name of the program is the Lowland Livelihood Resilience Project, and it is a huge multi-donor $1 million funded. As you can see, it is a 6 years program, and it is as of November 21, 29, it is effective. And the source of finance is, as you can see from the table, it is IDF through World Bank, IFAD, as well as the community contribution in terms of cash and in kind. As a whole, the project is this project financing is around 451 million USD. Next, please. And the operational area of this project is a big, larger than the previous projects, and it includes also the lowland. In terms of lowland, is a definition. So, in the PCDP era, it was a pastoral area. It was named as a pastoral area. Now it is scaled up to lowlands. So we included the other regions. So it starts from Afar, from northern east, from the east Somali, and the Oromia, the lowlands, Boran, and the Bali side, and as well we included the southern nations, and additionally the project was also working in Gambela and the Benishangul regions. Next, please. And the distribution and the coverage of the project, I can see, is around 100 waredas or districts, and it is targeted to benefit 2.5 million, of which 50% are women and 20% are youths. And as you can see, from the total of 217 districts or pastoral areas, waredas, or lowland waredas, it's already covered around 100. It is almost less than 50% actually, even the existing data shows. So the project is specifically working in these 100 waredas. It's adopted not only the administrative part, but it is a clustering system. So the project is working as ahead. It is covering not only administrative waredas, but it is approaching clustering system. So the wareda can be administratively located in another zone or region, zone, but can be managed under the same cluster. So we clustered around 28 regional clusters. These waredas are clustered around 28, 8 clusters for Somali region, 5 clusters for Afar, 6 clusters in Oromia, and 3 clusters in Southern, and the others are actually 3 clusters in Gambela and Benishangul. With regards to implementation arrangements, the project is actually, it is a multi-sectoral approach. So it is a government project as well. So the government is looking the oversight level. So structurally, it is managed at different levels, right from the federal up to the community levels. I can see from the graph. So at the oversight institutions as the federal ministers, which is organized under the Federal Steering Committee, which is led by previously by Ministry of Peace. Now it is actually transferred to the Ministry of Irrigation and Lowlands. And this structure is going down to the regions as well as to the Wareda, and the community level as well. So the project is at multi-sectoral approach. And we have also project coordination units at the federal level with a few experts, which is just hosted under the Ministry of Lowlands, Irrigation and Lowlands, and similarly at region and Wareda level as well. And we have also implementing agencies which we are specifically conducting agreement with line ministers, especially with Federal Cooperative Agency, Ministry of Agriculture, and Peace Minister as well. So go next, please. And the law, with regard to the coordination issue, the project is actually, this project is specifically approaching the resiliency approach. It is holistic and integrated. So the issue of what we are talking still now is the issue of vulnerability. So, and the change of this approach, the livelihood resilience approach. So the project is approaching in terms of improving or enhancing the capacity of the local communities in terms of absorbed capacity, in terms of rangelands and natural resources, and integrated development interventions. Not a piecemeal approach, not very small size approach, but it can include widely the wider communities in terms of interventions. So it is approaching implementing strategic investment infrastructures. And the second approach is an adaptive approach, which is actually to support these marketing systems, information systems. You see, the livelihood part. Not only infrastructures, but communities are suffering from income issues and livelihood issues, so they should just diversify their incomes, not only in terms of livestock, but in terms of other income generating activities. So the project is working towards improving the livelihoods. And the third one is this must be, these pastoral communities are now, everything is changing, so there must be a transformative capacity must be developed there. In terms of market issues, in terms of irrigation, supplementary irrigations, so they have to diversify their incomes, and so the livelihood dependency or livestock must be diversified. Next slide, please. No. Yeah. And so the question goes with that. What goes well with good experiences and the bottlenecks? Actually, you can see from the presentation that this project is aided by multi-sectoral approach. The government is responsible at different levels, right from the federal to the community. So, and again, the implementing agencies which are working together with the projects are also an advantage. And this, the community awareness, community common understandings at all levels, and integration of all project activities in intervention areas. Because in intervention areas, project is only not focusing on infrastructures. Project is focusing on income generating activities, common interest groups, SACOs, financial institutions, as well as market access, plus private partners as well. So the integration of all activities in one area can enhance the resiliency, the livelihood capacity of that community, not only in one particular line. So this is one of the advantages. Next, please. As this, among our partners, our cooperation is signed with the Ministry of, Ethiopian Agricultural Research Institute, which is going to support, you see, the research activities. This, we are conducting adapted researches, action plan researches. So the Ethiopian Agricultural Research Institute is coordinating all the researches in terms of public, pastoral, agricultural, pastoral, pastoral agricultural research in extension groups. So PABREGs, we call them. So in terms of this, we are supporting with projects that have, they signed a memorandum of understanding. So they are working towards extension system as a whole, supporting that. Next, please. And the Federal Cooperative Agency is also as an agreement with us, focusing on the establishment of this rural saving credit, so saving and the credit cooperatives. So they are supporting the SACOs, especially the non-interest groups, because we are working in the pastoral areas, in Muslim areas, so they are working in that support, and they are technically supervision supporting that area. The next step, please. And the Ministry of Agriculture, as you can see, is a mandate for the extension systems as a whole. So the Ministry of Agriculture is working with this project as supporting the pastoral and agricultural exchange systems. In terms of rangeland, for example, the Ministry of Agriculture is going to establish a model rangeland restoration strategies. Yesterday we talked about the post office issues, the land degradation issues. So, and the interventions are here and there across the regions differently. But we don't know which way we are approaching to scale up. So the Ministry of Agriculture should establish models which can be used to, for the restoration of these rangelands, and they can be scaled up or scaled out in all regions. So the Ministry of Agriculture is doing with us in areas of rangeland, as well as the issue of salinity. We are now going to expand the lowland irrigation, wheat irrigation, especially wheat production. So the issue of salinity issue, and which crops and which forage crops, which food crops are tolerant, and they are also mapping which areas are affected by this soil salinity. So the Ministry of Agriculture is also mandated for that. Again, the Ministry of Agriculture is also doing with the livelihood sessions in terms of this adapted research, I mean, this fabrics. And in terms of developing guidelines, especially the private partnership. We are now going to do, because the government is not only mandated, because there are different abattoirs and exporters around the highlands, and the resources in terms of livestock are down the lowlands, so we have to bring them together. So there must be a partnership approach. So the Ministry of Agriculture is also doing in that area, and there are also Ministry of Agriculture doing in the supporting agricultural market value chains. Because of in terms of some specific areas, in terms of beef, beekeeping, fish, horticulture, crop, and others are specifically targeted by the project. So the project is supporting that area. And in terms of supervision, monitoring as well, so we have collaboration activities with Ministry of Agriculture. Next. And with the Ministry of Peace, also we do have a memorandum of understanding in terms of, especially in the conflict mapping areas to key resource areas. Is a very critical areas, because in the pastoral area, resources are now getting shrinked, and there is mobility is very restricted, so there may be conflicts among the communities within and in the border areas. So the conflict mapping to, especially to the secure access to key resources is very important. So Ministry of Peace is undertaking studies in that area. And again, socio-economic profile atlases are also studied by the Ministry of Culture in addition to the policy strategies and the policies documents proclaimed also. Next, please. Next slide. Allege? Eh? Yeah. Okay. With the effort international, also we have a memorandum of understanding. Is a IFAD funded project, and actually is an international NGO, but has got funded from IFAD. So he has collaborating with LLRP in terms of studying this value chains, particularly in the value chain in terms of camel, cattle, milk, shots, ready meat, milk, and again in the assessment of overall livestock feed resources, balances, supply and the balanced demand and supply side, and the way they are using, as well as in terms of animal health service in the PAP areas. It's also a very next, please. So the cooperations, which way is going well or not, is actually listed over there. And these engagements are very important in all our cases. And the continuous follow-up and uptaking uninterrupted situational scanning at any like this forum is very important. And the need to strengthen the implementation capacity at grassroots is very important from the collaboration and the coordination. And the issue of the bottom issue, what should be given attention is actually the restructuring of the governance system. is a very critical issue. We were in the project is under the Peace of Ministry of Peace. Now we are in a new ministry, and the same structure is going down to the Warada level. So that is a very critical issue, and they must again this drought and the conflict issue as well. In the Benishangul, we are our intervention areas. The major part of our Waradas are not access to intervention, so it's a critical issue, and the issue of the Afar is what is known. This is a very critical issue. So next, please. And the way forward is just frequent and open communication is very important, as we learned it today and yesterday and today, and clear decision-making process. This meeting or forum is not nothing for should be for any purpose. Yeah? Should be for any common goal, and should be clearly defined roles, and there should be with shared goals. Appropriate resource allocations must be there. This is the issue, and the second forward is the issue of strategically and timely institutionalize. Just not for gathering together, but it should be strategically, should be timely. And the next one is the issue of recurrent drought. You see, this is a common in the pastoral areas known. The issue of the global climate change, the regional climate change is very common. So we have to know it. We have to react it. So after the resource is depleted, we are going to do nothing. Okay? So in terms of resource allocations, in terms of interventions, with the short term, with the long term intervention must be given attention. I can show you some of the LLRP activities very quickly. Just go ahead. This is major activities actually done so far as of its effectiveness. One particular attention is that the project as was formulated rangeland management investment plan. What means participatory rangeland management plan? It is a plan for 10 years, but we took it for the project for the 5 years. So there are 27 rangeland management investment plans documents. This could be on the website in our office. So there are different menus, different interventions identified in that area. And this, we sorted out that in the 5 years, in the 6 years, the project will intervene in terms of water around 415 project, could be beyond the limit of the project actually. But the indicated budget for this is around 9 billion. It could not be covered by LLRP, but it is identified and can be intervened in this area. Go ahead, please. And these are the soil water conservation studies. You can just, this is where practically, where technically they are trained by doing. And the one thing which we are specifically doing attention in this project is the site mapping. The interventions in our project is not for, first must be delineated. Okay? The area, the potential areas, the constraint, the issue of this prosopis, the other invasive bush must be, and the degradations, the gullies must be mapped first, delineated and mapped. So in that delineated and mapped area, the interventions will go through accordingly. Whether the soil water conservation, whether the bush clearing or thinning, whether the fodder bank or pasture rehabilitation or irrigation must be done within the delegated area. These are some of the activities actually started so far. Go ahead, please. Oh yeah. Inga. Baka. Baka na. Baka. Thank you.